Bonjour everybody and welcome to my studio. So today we are going to do a big cat. Cats are quite complicated because it's usually because of the hair pattern. So this is very particular. Personally, I find it fairly complicated, a little bit like zebras, but I will explain why. So today I am going to use acrylic ink for this painting. This is quite a big painting. It's 42 by 30, approximately that, which is twice as big as what I do normally. Not a problem at all, but I have to adapt a few things. So this is what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to explain you why. So acrylic inks. I've done the sketch that is just right here. So we are going to focus on the eyes, as you can see on the sketch. So this is the face that is going to be very, very detailed with strong and sharp detail. And as you go down to the body, is going to get a little bit less sharp. We are entering into a more blurry effect, the type of thing that you would have with a depth of field in photography. That's the idea. So the eyes of the viewer is going to be focused on the face and particularly the eyes. This cat is beautiful. She's got big eyes, it's a green. It's a brown green. It's a green that will have a bit of raw umber in it. That's what I can see. Nice reflection on it as well. Nice shadows. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I will explain to you how I do them and why it is a little bit more difficult than dogs. And it's usually because of the hair pattern. So shall we start now? This is my palette, and it's the same paper as the one using for the final painting. So the way that the paint is going to react on the paper is going to be exactly the same as on my canvas, shall we say. So I've got 2 pots of water. That makes things easier. My brushes here as well. And they're not that big because of the pattern that I'm going to talk about later. I start with the darker patterns of the cat, but not the darkest. I am in between, and that will help me to visualize where the stripes are, what is where, because this is what's happening in nature. Animals like cats, all the animals that have patterns, and I know very well with zebra because I painted zebra before, and your eyes get really confused, shall we say, by the pattern, and you don't know where the stripes are and where the stripes are not, between the black and white or the light and the darkest one. So I always start with the darkest, and I got my photo reference in hand. So usually that's actually on my phone. You can see a bit of my phone there. And I make sure that I mark every little one, so I know where I'm going with this. And from that, I can start adding the lighter one. Slowly, and I usually use the same type of color so that I create my mix with, shall we say, the main color of the animal. So it is a mix of a raw umber with a little bit of white just to lighten it up a little bit, and then later on I will add some warmer color or cooler color if I feel that it's necessary. But at the moment it's more like it's not black and white at all, but it's more I am working on the values, the gray values. So the gray values are from light to dark. That's what I'm working on, and that is mainly what is going to create the 3 dimension of the subject in the meantime as the pattern. So I am working like that at this moment. And then when it comes to the shadow of the subject, which is the real shadow, we can add a sort of transparent color to all of it that will darken a little bit one side rather than the other, depending on where the color goes. So here I am carrying on with the hair pattern. It's quite interesting actually. She's got some sort of layer of hair on her neck, and I want to keep that quite sharp. So that's what I'm doing now. But the more I go down, the less sharp I get. Like mostly the back. So I'm on the back here, and I want the back to look very much like a watercolor effect. So what I was talking about earlier in the intro with the depth of field, that's what I'm doing now. So there's much more water content in my brush, you see, and I'm working more like you would work on a watercolor here. You can definitely see the difference. But the more I go towards the face and even the neck, the more precise and sharp and thin my lines are going to be. So I always have my reference with me for the pattern of the coat, because obviously every animal is different. And even the legs here, the legs are not precise at all. I just make sure that I've got the pattern right, but then it's more, I want it to be a little bit more blurry. Now we're back on the face, so the face extremely sharp here. We want something extremely sharp, and the nose, the inside of the nose and the little V that I've just done here is very dark. But we will see how I do that afterward, because even if I take my carbon black as color, the carbon black, once it's dry, is not as dark as sometimes what I want it to be, which is not a bad thing. But this is why at the end of the painting I do use an acrylic pen. I will show you that. So I'm carrying on with the inside of the eyes here. So we start having some shape on the face. We know. So you see, I have put the mustache little dips. I don't know, maybe they have a proper name, but that will tell me where the mustache actually start. So that's very important to place that fairly early in the painting. As you can see, there is no eyes. I like keeping the eyes for the end. I don't know why. I think it's probably that's when the painting really comes alive and it's very rewarding, and so yeah, I like doing that. So adding a few detail on the mouth. His mouth is slightly open, which is quite nice. And now, okay, so that's the eyes. So the eyes, I actually filmed it like this. There is no speed on this. And I thought it would be quite interesting for some part of it not to be sped up, because this is the main focus of the painting. That's the eyes. So I want the color right. I want the look right. I always want the subject to look at you if it's possible. Obviously, it depends of the pose that we pick as a main picture. But I want, when you pass by your painting, your pet painting, that she is looking at you. I say she because this one is a girl, but yeah. And so the eyes, for it to look round, you need to have a shadow just under the top eyelid, but there is also a shadow that forms closer to the bottom eyelid, and that's very important. So that's, if you don't do that, the eyes are going to look very flat. So this is a mix of raw umber and an orange, but this is an orange that I created with yellow and red. And yeah, and up to the nose. So yeah, let's focus on the nose a little bit. The nose brings a nice color. It's a little bit pink, but with some raw umber again. Raw umber, by the way, is the brown that I use a lot. So raw umber with some magenta and probably a little bit of yellow, and that will give you that nose color. So now I'm using the pen that I was talking about earlier. It's because some areas of the eyes are much darker, and you need to do that because it will give you even more depth on the look that she's got, on the way she looks at you. So shadows, very important. We want a shadow because your subject needs a ground to stand on, otherwise it's floating in the air. So I decided to go for some blue. I find the blue a little bit too blue, so I added a little bit of raw umber on it. So there is some things like that you can catch up, no problem. There is other things you can't. We'll probably see that in another video. But so she's got that ground to stand on. And now I'm going with my pen to add a few details. When you add details that are very thin and precise like this is what is going to attract the eyes. So you want to pick and choose where you do it. And don't forget to sign, by the way. That's your painting. You are allowed to sign it. And here we are. So, isn't she beautiful? All signed, and I will show you. So, here she is. Here she is. As you can see, that's a little bit bigger than what I do normally, but we got the focus on the eyes. Everything is getting a little bit more blurry at the bottom of the body here, and the pose as well. And so it does create the viewer to first get on the eyes. She's looking at you, boom, straight on the eyes, and you can see all the hair around the facial expression as well, the mustache. I love it. And then you are going to the rest of the body with a little bit of a shadow, so it gives it a crown. Isn't she beautiful? Actually, I am going to show you how I mount my artwork, and also how it is wrapped, because most of the time it's actually a present, and so I will show you what I do so you can actually, it is presentable for a present. Let's see how I do that. I carefully remove the tape, like so. I have my mount, the mount that is planned for this particular painting. And this is the back of it. So I'm using foam board, a foam board that is 5 millimeter thick. And with that, I have a double-sided tape here. There you go. So everything is going to be removable. If you wanted to change the whole mount, you'll be able to do that thanks to the double-sided tape and the tape that I use, which is frog tape. I make sure that the back is the right size. So I cut the back the size of the mount. And now I am putting the double-sided tape on the outside of the foam board, like so. And I remove the back. And now I make sure that my painting is going to be at the right place of the mount. And I put the frog tape on. So that is all removable as well. But that will maintain it in a good place if you decide to keep the mount. And now I stick the back to the mount. Make sure it's all well stuck, like so. And here we are. Ta-da! Oh, she's beautiful. The artwork is all mounted now, and I'm going to wrap it properly. I will show you. So you will see that it is good for a presentation, so that not only protection against any, you know, liquid or anything like that, but also presentation, which is important when you are giving it as a gift. Are you ready? Oh, and there it is, all wrapped up. And now this is the last touch. So the last touch is going to be a little sticker. So a little sticker with I'll show you. Ta-da! This one is ready to be picked up. This is somebody local, so I don't need to use any postage, but I do post worldwide. And when I post, I actually sandwich the artwork into some hardboard. So this is actually very safe. I've never had any problems. So hardboard, and then I wrap it as well, so it is safe from any spillage or rain or anything like that. So yeah, that's what it is. I hope you appreciate the time lapse, the making of this painting, the explanation as well, and how I wrap it and make it fit for a good presentation. So if you have any commission, any idea, please let me know and we can actually work that out together. I will be very, very happy to read you and see what you have to say. If you like watching the art and you are probably learning from it, if you are an artist as well, feel free to follow my page or subscribe and like. Leave a comment below as well. I always read the comments and reply when I can or when it's relevant. So yeah, feel free to do that. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Who doesn't like cats? Au revoir!